this is the 6:30 p.m. that I do every single day. This is a show that I do here on this channel every single day. The point is to talk about topics that most people are not talking about, but to ensure that we break it down for you and simplify it for you. Union Ministry has said that schools and colleges can reopen, but with conditions from the 15th of October outside containment zones. Now, the Education Ministry has left the decision to different states, and different states are doing it differently. I'll take you through what different states are doing. But before that, I must tell you that for schools, they are allowed to partially reopen from 9th to 12th on voluntary basis, and higher educational institutes for only research scholars and postgraduate students in science and technology streams, because obviously laboratory and experimental works are there, and hence only those students are allowed to go back to college. And this is left completely to states, and this is what different states are doing at this point. States that are maintaining status quo right now are Delhi, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, which is still the worst affected for COVID, Gujarat, West Bengal. States that have reopened, among other states, are UP and Punjab, who are in favor of reopening schools at least. Now, I want to read out the statement by the Central Ministry before we go any further, where the guidelines were released. They've said very specifically, the official statement, where schools are conducting online classes and some students prefer to attend online classes rather than physically attend school, they may be permitted to do so. This is what the Central Ministry has said, and that's exactly what different states are doing as well. Because what we hear from a lot of teachers is that parents are currently a little apprehensive. So we're going to find out today whether online classes are working, first of all. Second, whether students want colleges to reopen, and my specific focus will be on colleges this evening, and whether parents are apprehensive and what are their concerns at this point. To have that conversation with me, I have two people joining me right now. One, Rounak Prakash, who's a third year BBA LLB from Christ University in Bangalore. He joins us out of Bangalore. And I also have Professor Saira Tumbi, who's the head of self-financing course in multimedia and mass communication, Rizvi College, based out of Bombay, joining me right now. Thank you so much for joining me. And before I get any further with the questions, I want to remind our viewers that our chat window is open. If you have any questions at all, please ask your questions and use the super chat feature. So we know that these are the questions that we want to pick up, and I will take that through the course of the conversation as well. Let me begin, and with your permission, Professor Saira, I'll begin with Rounak. I want to understand, Rounak, whether students like you want colleges to reopen at this point.
Okay, yeah. So there are legitimate reasons from student side that online classes, especially the video conferencing and the assignment part, is getting a bit tedious, is getting a bit monotonous, and they are stuck in their houses for many months, and they miss that college feel, they miss that college ambience. Especially if you consider the government is opening it for labs and all, but other than that, there are co-curricular activities such as debating or say Nukkad Natak, which only happens at a campus where you meet people and you can do it there. But students, I think, do prefer online classes because it's easier, it's very easy to attend, it's very easy to complete than a physical class. But I think over the month, students are getting wary of it and now do want to go to physical classes.
You said students are getting wary of it. Why is that the case? Online classes are not working. Is that what you're saying?
Online classes are actually, no matter how much the teacher tries to make it effective, I think to some extent that idea or that concept that you have a way out, or you have a way to zone out of the class and do something else, and it is very easy to do, that makes it problematic. Because even I remember in the starting when online classes started for me, the students were very attentive, the students were very interactive in the classes, and we were very attentive towards it. But as the days went by and we knew that it is not going to be that strict on us, it is not going to be that controlled, even the students became more casual, the students stop paying attention to some extent, and the absorption of knowledge that happens in a physical class is not to the extent that happens in an online class because of certain barriers.
And I want to focus on that one point that you made, that students zone out. Before I go to Professor Saira, what do you mean by that? Are you saying that students are essentially ending up doing other things like play games and stuff like that? Rounak?
Yeah. So even zoning out on the case of students is not just on online classes. Even in physical classes, students do zone out. They start talking to each other. They start scribbling in their books. But the level of zoning out and the ease of zoning out in an online class has become very much more easy. And that has led the students to use that as an advantage and use that zoning out to do other activities, which may be playing games, which may be doing some other activities as well.
All right, I'm going to go to Professor Saira with this question. Is that the case is that a challenge that most teachers are facing at this point as far as online classes are concerned? He said that some of them, do other activities, perhaps play games. And this is something that we've heard from a lot of people as well, particularly parents who are saying that, students aren't really interested.
Well, a very good to all viewers. When it comes to the zoning out bit, yes, we are seeing that, but the problem that we are facing is a very new problem of the century, and everybody is grappling with it. And a lot of colleges in Mumbai that I keep track of have actually conducted their festivals, the cultural festivals, and a lot of academic festivals online, and where they have actually joined with their IT and CS departments, and have conducted online games, digital games, online competitions. So these activities have gone up. So yeah, there is a problem of attentiveness that we do face, and that is the challenge that every teacher, new or old, is going through. But the situation is such that we are being forced to get creative and innovative in our ways of teaching, because we are left with no option. It's a matter of life, whether it's school, college, old or young, it's a matter of life. And the situation is such that it's not only about opening of schools, but it's about the economy as a whole that the governments need to think of. So easing restrictions is not just for your and my comfort, but it's also an economic view. So for colleges specifically, yes, there are issues, but the only solution is not going to be opening up, that is increasing the risk, and it's going to worsen the situation, which is anyways bad. We still don't know the depth of how bad the situation is. So even in an offline setup, when students would attend lectures in class, there were issues of engaging them. However, the level was less. In online, it is way more. So teachers have to be really creative, and we already are being very creative. We are getting more into discussion mode. We are able to share a lot of links, a lot of articles, YouTube links, maybe short films as far as media course is concerned, which is becoming more interfacing for us. So if there is a downside, there has also been an upside. And these are also ways to engage the children. The other way and the ultimate way of engaging the student is by tying everything to marks. Because engaging in an online lecture, it's education, and you need to give an exam. For example, the semester 6, final semester 6, third year students have appeared for their university level exams in an online setup. So students, we are kind of grooming the students to get into the online mode and trying innovative ways to keep them engaged.
So you're saying that teachers are better trained at this point, that they are more well equipped with technology. I want to read out some of the questions that are coming in. Akash Sharma has said, why not train teachers to teach online? Jaskaran has said, we want colleges to reopen. Someone else has said that laboratories will need to go on, and they are not effective in online classes. For that, the central ministry has said that it's up. But then, in a state like Maharashtra, uh, how do you see this panning out? Because yesterday we had Aditya Thackeray on this channel say that schools and colleges will perhaps reopen only towards the end. So, do we hope for schools and colleges to reopen as soon as
When it comes to technology, all teachers, old and new, the teaching fraternity has always been used to an offline setup, a chalk and board setup. The teaching fraternity has always been used to paperwork. We have not been used to laptops or smartphones and technology, me included. So we have actually, we've been pushed into the ocean and now told swim. If you don't know swimming, you will learn swimming now. We have just been pushed. Unfortunately, that has been the situation because nobody expected the situation to worsen. Nobody knew because it's a pandemic which many of us have not witnessed. None of us, for that matter. So training teachers, yes, is important, and we have all picked it up. Sooner or later, somehow or the other, helping each other. Training sessions have been organized by teachers, by schools, by colleges. We've been equipped, we've been given manuals, and we are working on it. But becoming tech savvy is not the only solution. The whole context of reopening colleges and schools is basically safety of life, which is not just students. It's not even just teachers, it's even the non-teaching staff. You will need to disinfect. How often will you disinfect, and how much will you disinfect? How much will you sanitize? You need people to do that, don't you?
So
where will
Okay, before I come back to Professor Saira, I want to go back to Rounak here. Rounak, so you were saying that one of the things that's happening right now is that not a lot of people are taking online classes seriously. What about your parents, for instance? Are they apprehensive about sending you to college if it reopens? Has there been any communication from your college at all?
For the undergraduate courses, the college has still not told us anything, and it's still ambiguous. But to the question about would my parents allow me to go back to college if it reopens? I think to a certain extent my parents would, but that comes on the condition that there are certain steps taken by the college to see to it that there is safety and there is prevention of any and the social distancing is followed. So unless and until colleges come to a conclusive step to open classes with guidelines with social distancing, I don't think any student or any parent would like to send their child to college, because it is at the end of the day your health.
It's your life.
And Professor Saira, if you want to come in there, if you can tell us what safety measures are being taken at this point. One crucial point that Shelly Yadav has made, she said with college hostels, risk of infection is more with public washrooms and mess. So what are the safety measures that are being taken at this point? How are you preparing? Of course, Maharashtra may take some more time to decide whether colleges will reopen. But is this college prepared?
See, colleges are also working and preparing, no doubt. They are coming up with the sanitization facilities, and the disinfectants are available in quantity. But we need to assess another situation, that when you're looking at Mumbai colleges, we're not looking of students of small number. Each class in each academic year has a minimum of 60 students. If I assume as a teacher that only 50% attend, then social distancing becomes a very big question mark. So when it comes to Mumbai, when it comes to Maharashtra, it is not going to be an easy decision. I think it'll take us a little longer than what we are hearing to. I don't see the colleges reopening anytime before March, to be very honest, because the number of students that we deal with on a day-to-day basis it is very difficult to keep your social distancing norms in place because the number itself is large. At one point in time or at the same time, let's say if our lectures begin at 7:30, we are looking at nothing less than 3,000-4,000 full capacity of students attending. Even if I cut it off in half and I say only 50% attend, still that's a large number. Taking into consideration all the safety measures comes at a cost. Your self-financing courses, your aided courses that are being offered by these colleges, the fees are not enough to fund and take care of all these facilities. So it is not about just cleanliness and hygiene and sanitization and disinfectants. We as teachers have to think of a way larger picture, which I think the government is taking very well into consideration. At least in Maharashtra, yes. But that things are being taken into consideration of sanitizing, masks being compulsory worn. Not all teachers or non-teaching are being called in. If at all, they need to be at the same time. It's in rotation.
So what are you hearing from students and parents at this point? You said that, of course, Maharashtra will take some time. In fact, government itself has said that.
Yes.
What are you hearing from parents?
Well, I hear the same news as Rounak because
Are they
when it comes to they're very anxious because they are kind of locked into their houses. Stepping out is not easy. It's restricted compared to before. It was like Ronak said, going to college, coming back to college, and there were a lot of slips in between. You would just go out for a coffee or for a quick bite with your friend to a coffee shop or a restaurant. And all these things now are on a cut. So these things do take a toll on a student. It does indeed take a toll on the parent also. Keeping in mind the financial situation of households, salary cuts, job losses, etc. These are quite interdependent factors. So students are anxious. They're waiting to come back for the simple reason that, this is life. And the college life is something that it's a very important part of a student's memory. I did this when I was in college, or we did this and we had that, and, these experiences. So right now they are, in a very perplexed zone, if I must say. Okay, what is it that they're going to look back on? At one whole academic year, they were locked into their houses and did assignments online. But unfortunately, you're looking at life, and it is not in the best of interest of the parent as well as the student, as well as the teacher. Let's not forget the teachers and the non-teaching staff. So there is anxiousness, but there's much that could be done about it at this point in time. Parents,
no,
yes.
Right. So that's the word.
That's concerned.
Yes.
Parents
so parents are obviously concerned.
Definitely.
Parents are obviously concerned. Colleges are prepared, like Professor Saira was telling us. And for viewers watching, I'm so sorry about the internet issues. There are a couple of issues today, but this is the crux of the conversation that we've come to right now, where the students are saying that perhaps it's time to reopen colleges, but different states are taking it differently. Like I pointed out, Delhi, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, these are the states which are still maintaining status quo. They're saying that perhaps it's going to take a couple of months, but colleges, they're saying that they are prepared, that they are taking up all the safety measures as soon as possible. And for now, perhaps online classes is the only way to go. Thank you so much, Professor Saira and Rounak, for joining us. And for viewers who are watching, thank you for watching.
Thank you.